really important just to be yourself. To forget all the pretense and all that crap that goes with it, and all this business. In fact, he's got something at the moment, this new scheme, or this new book that he's writing, and it's about how to destructure business, because there's a new era, there's a new wave coming up, and that's part of what I'm here to talk to you about today. And the other thing he spoke to me about was the Elders. Have you heard of the Elders Project? It's absolutely amazing. He basically, very, very simple, he got together a group of people and he said, listen, let's get together and let's talk about the issues of the world, the poverty in the world, and the human suffering in the world, and let's do something about it. Simple, huh? And I thought, I wonder if I could just do exactly that. I know I'm not Richard Branson, a slightly better looking version of him, I know I'm not him, but I've got an opportunity. I'm going to this thing called the Yes Group. By the way, I was told this was a practice group, and I was imagining 5 people sitting here, not 100 people. But I thought, I've got this opportunity to go and speak to this group of people who have entrepreneur mindsets to help me with my goal, and if I can do that, then that helps them with their goal. It's kind of a simple concept. So that's how all of this kind of stuff started. Anyway, let me show you the next thing here. What I then realized, I've been very lucky in my job, in my business. As I say, I teach NLP, and I teach NLP all over the world. It's fantastic. I'm not very good at it, but I get to travel lots of different places. And what I realized was this thing here is everywhere. It's all over. I've been to some of the most remote places on the planet. I've been very lucky. It's the places they send me, basically, because there's not a lot of people there. But some of the most remote places on the planet. And what I've realized is these guys are everywhere. People are selling this stuff in every corner of the earth. Places that humanitarian aid can't get to. Isn't that weird? Isn't that a kind of weird concept that Coca-Cola's sold where humanitarian aid can't get to? Where there's people in poverty, but this stuff's sold? Now, I know there's a lot of issues with Coca-Cola and taking the water and all that kind of stuff. But what fascinated me was, how did they do this? How did they get their brand, their cans of Coke and bottles and caps and shoes and you name it, Coca-Cola brand, into all corners of the earth? And it's very, very simple. The way they did it was they used people. Simple. Not money. I mean, I know they've got a huge budget, but they used people. They created micro-franchisees. That's micro-franchisees, tiny businesses for people to sell this stuff on the streets, and there you go, that's in Tibet. Amazing picture. But I thought, what if we were to do that? This new wave that I'm talking about as entrepreneurs, I believe in the next 5 years, the entrepreneurs of the world are going to be called the social entrepreneurs, those that exist, those that survive. Those people that really make a difference are the social entrepreneurs, not the entrepreneurs, not the people that just keep earning money and keep earning money and keep earning money. The people that actually think about social change and start to think about the solutions from the perspective of those that need the help, because there's a hell of a lot of people that need the help. And I think it's our job as entrepreneurs to do exactly this. Use the people, not their money, but use the people to get the word out there and to start to create something different. Because if we always do what we've always done, thank you. You've been on the course. That's fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Okay. I was in the Himalayas, and this was a few years ago, and basically it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I heard this hammering at my hotel, a Schuck's hotel I was staying in, hammering at the hotel room door. I thought, what the hell's going on? 6 o'clock in the morning. I opened the door, and there's this young lad, and this is his, that's actually a shoe polishing kit here, but this is the young lad, this is Rakesh. And he was 12 at the time that I met him, and basically what happened, he said, I'm here to shine your shoes. Now, to be honest, the only shoes I had were flip-flops, so it was a bit, waste of time. But, and I'd been out in the town where this little lad works, and he's got his little shoe shining kit, and he said to me, I walked past him, and he said, I'm going to shine your shoes. And like most of us, what I did was I kind of tried to get rid of the kid, to be honest. And I thought, I'm on my way. I've got my things to do. And I walked past this kid, and I said, I'll be back tomorrow, hoping that the kid would never know who I was or remember who I was. Anyway, next morning he turns up at my hotel, 15 miles away. He travelled on this old rickety bus, this little kid here, to my hotel. I said, I'm here to shine your shoes. That'll teach me a lesson. So we went around the whole hotel, and we got as many pairs. Everyone was walking around in socks that day in the hotel, because we got as many pairs of shoes as we possibly could, and he polished them all. And of course we paid him for that privilege. And in India and places like that, in the Himalayas, unlike this country, kids aren't taught not to speak to strangers. So he was you know, we were engaged in conversation, great, and he said, come back to my house for some tea. And of course he lived 15 miles away. Isn't it funny though that we teach kids not to speak to strangers, and yet here I am. I was never very good at taking rules from my parents. Most of us are speakers in the room, and yet our parents teach us never to speak to strangers. Kind of an odd thing, really. But he was able to, and he said, listen, come back to mine for tea. So, great. So a load of us, we got on this old rickety bus, and we're travelling back. And you know, I was looking out across the snow-capped mountains, and the only thing I could think about was the question I had in my mind. And that was, why aren't we, as entrepreneurs, as inspirers, as change agents, as people that can really change the world, why aren't we doing more? Why aren't we doing more? And I'm doing some work for Shelter at the moment, the homeless charity. And what I decided to do, whenever I like to go to the extremes when I work with different groups and do things slightly differently, and I decided that in order for me to really work with them and to kind of know what it is I'm talking about, I need to experience what it's like to be one of their clients. So I decided to spend the day and the evening and the night on the streets, just to see what it was like, and to see what reactions I got from people like us. I had my little sign, I've got my little sign, look at the prop, I've got a prop and everything. Looney didn't have a prop, look at this. It's on the back of my baby's nappies. And it just said, please help. This was my sign. I wanted to know, what does help really mean? What does it mean to you guys? You know, how many people are coaches, or class themselves as a coach or a therapist, those kind of things? Quite a few of you. What other kind of things do we have as coaches? Would you say coaches, therapists, change agents? You're all in some sort of business of creating change. It's interesting when you think, what does help really mean? And so what I did was I went out on the streets, and thank you. And I decided to film everything that went on. And I've got the little video to show you. I'm going to need the lights down if that's okay, because it was obviously filmed at night. So I had a little pinhole camera, and I also had another camera crew, which wasn't you guys, but you guys are much better. And they were in a window, and they were filming from another side. So it's just a 2-minute video of the experience that I had as someone who was homeless. And I had a real mixed experience, so let's just see this little video. was one of the scariest things I've ever done. You might recognise the place? Yeah. It was just outside here last month for the S Group. In fact, I was sat right outside the hotel. Many of you probably on the video. Now, here's the thing. I'm not here to embarrass you, and I'm certainly not proud of my reaction to that little boy, the guy that I passed. I thought, you know what, if I give him money, he's probably likely to spend it on drugs and drink anyway, and, you know, or some drugs baron that keeps him a prisoner as a shoe-polishing prisoner. And I thought, you know, I'm not proud of that, to be honest. And I'm certainly not here to embarrass you. I hope to inspire you just with a few stories, a few little things that I've created. I don't want your money. I don't need your money, in fact. I want you to start thinking about new ideas. So let me just move on. Oh, there you go. It's been a tough year in the NLP training world. I actually look dead in the one on the right, but yeah, it was extremely scary. You might have noticed my shoes. These are Toby shoes. If you haven't, where's your sense of acuity? These are great. You know, for years, Kate, my wife and I, we were donating money to an orphanage, and so we were basically taking 20% of everything we earn, and we were giving it to an orphanage in India that we'd fallen in love with a little girl there who's just very inspirational. And we realised after a while that what we were doing wasn't really making a difference. The money was going towards building toilet blocks and putting solar panels in, which is all fantastic, and it made us feel great, you know, and it was a story we could tell because it made us feel proud about the money that we were spending, but it wasn't making a difference for the kids. And I thought, I need a way in. I need to start using this thing up here, this entrepreneur's mindset, to start creating something new. And so I was out in the States, and this guy walked past with these shoes on. I said, what the bloody hell are they? As most people say to me. And he told me the story about them. So I phoned them. They're actually not made by me. I'm not that clever. It was made by, they're made by Vibram or Vibram. And I phoned the company, made them to me, and I said, listen, I want to sell your shoes, but I don't want to take any profit for them. They're like, you must be mad. What? I said, no, I want to sell your shoes because it's so unique, and every time I come in with them, people say, what are they on your shoes? What are they on your feet? Which gives me the sales pitch, if you like. So basically what we do is we sell these shoes. These are Toby shoes, tobyshoes.com. That's your go. You say tobyshoes.com. I got it in, yeah. Thanks for that, dude. I got that, I like that. And I basically sell these shoes, but now they retail at £100 and I make £40 profit. And what I do with the money, with the profit, for every 5 pairs of shoes that I sell, that gives me obviously £200, for those that are good at maths, and I take that £200 and I'm able to create a business in India for someone in poverty. Now there are businesses like seamstresses, candle making, basket making, and what we do is the children that can't get into the orphanages, and we work in a place called Kerala in India, with that £200 we train them, we set them up, we create their own business, and through that business, and it's 98% of our clients are female, through that business those women are now able to build a house for themselves, they're able to put their children through school, they're able to actually pay back the £200 which is recycled into other businesses. And so far, in just 2 years, we've created 200 businesses. That's 500 children off the streets in Kerala. Oh, thank you. Do you know how much it cost me? It didn't cost me a penny. It cost me some time, but it didn't cost me a penny. Not one penny. I sell these shoes, I use the buying power of the West to give back to the East. It's so simple. Let me talk about something else. This is a little cart that was made by a guy in Wigan. Anyone from Wigan? No. So, yeah, Londoners. Well, Wigan, a place up north of London. And basically, this is Stephen's car. He created this, self-built himself. And what we did, very simply, was we wrote a letter to Wigan Council, and we said, listen, Wigan Council, we want to have a non-bin day, okay? So on the bin day's Monday, in whatever, wherever the location, we want to have Tuesday as a non-bin day. But what we want to do is we want to market to people to say, if they could put all their plastics, all their metals, and all their glass into separate bags and put them out on a Tuesday, then good old Stephen here with his carts will come around and collect them. I mean, Stephen was a guy with shelter, he was on the streets. He's now got a 2-bedroom house. He's not on any benefits. He doesn't cost you guys as taxpayers a single penny. He collects the glass, the plastics, and the metals, and he takes them to a recycling centre who pay him for the weight of that stuff. He's earning up to £80 a day. That's from the crap that's thrown out by people. He's earning £80 a day, he's off the streets. That is one letter, just by using your entrepreneur's mindset, that simple thing that you could